hydration. So why do we hydrate? What are the benefits of being hydrated? So if you're hydrated, you have improved muscle function. They work better than if your muscles were dehydrated. You have regulated blood pressure. Staying hydrated helps maintain blood pressure in exercise, so your heart doesn't have to work any harder than normal to maintain normal blood pressure. And finally, it improves circulation. It helps improve blood flow and circulation, and then that obviously means there's better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to working muscles. And good hydration also helps remove the waste products, so metabolic byproducts and waste from muscles, while replacing water that is lost through sweat. So the water that is lost in our electrolytes as we sweat. So why do we need to hydrate? As we've just discussed, and also if we don't hydrate, then there can be a thickening of the blood, an increase in viscosity, which means the thickness of the blood, and this will slow down blood flow. Because it's thicker, it won't flow as fast, and that puts more pressure on the heart. It has to beat faster, and it has to beat harder, and this makes it less efficient. It's having to do more work and has less blood actually being pumped. The body then becomes hotter when this happens and might overheat. You might become dehydrated, and then your reaction time will slow, and athletes can experience fatigue and cramp. So it's essential to stay hydrated before, during and after performance or exercise. So how can you maintain hydration before exercise? First thing you can do is have a look at the colour of your wee, so test your urine colour. So the paler there it is, so the lighter in colour it is, closer to sort of transparent, see-through, means it's hydrated. If it's dark yellow or orange, you need to start drinking some fluids as soon as possible. You're getting dehydrated. You want to drink your fluids regularly before exercise as well, so half a litre, 500 millilitres around every 4 hours before exercise, and then you want to have a quarter of a litre, 250 millilitres of water around 10 to 15 minutes before you exercise. So this is before exercise, how you can maintain your hydration. Then what about during exercise? Well, listen to your body, listen to how you feel. If you feel thirsty, have a drink. Keep your water handy. So you want to be taking on fluids as and when you need it during exercise. Then after exercise, you want to start to drink and get fluids in your body as soon as you finish. The sooner you get the fluids in the body, the sooner you're going to recover. And one thing to note is not to drink alcohol straight after exercise. It's actually a diuretic and makes you produce more urine, and that actually removes more water from the body. So you don't want to be going from sport straight into drinking any alcohol. Now we're going to look at our energy levels and something called carbohydrate loading. So if you're an athlete, you might have a race, and a week before you're going to start something called carbohydrate loading. So 7 days before the race, your energy stores will be depleted. They will be going down. You won't have that much energy stored because your training has intensified, and it's hit its peak. It's hit the most intense it's going to be. So around 6 to 4 days before the race, you're going to want to be having a low carb, high protein diet. This keeps glycogen stores low. 3 days before the race, you're going to want to change that to a very rich carbohydrate diet. So lots of carbohydrates to build up your glycogen stores. As we know, they get converted to glucose, which becomes energy when we exercise. The night before the race, you probably want to have a really big carbohydrate rich meal. So maybe a pasta and chicken or something along those lines. Something really carby, we might say. So lots of carbohydrates. And the reason you have the low carbs 6 to 4 days before and then switch to high carbs is because this helps the muscles to store more glycogen when the carbohydrates are reintroduced to the diet. So you switch to a low carb diet and have high protein, then you switch back just before to a high carbohydrate diet, and this will allow more glycogen to be stored in the muscles, and this means there'll be more energy available when you're exercising. So look at energy balance and individual energy needs. So the amount of energy you need is different for everyone. Not everyone needs the same amount of energy, and there's a new number of factors. So age, as you grow up and your body gets larger, is going to require more energy. But once you've reached around 40, your metabolism slows down and you don't actually need to eat as much. Size, larger people require more energy to keep their bodies functioning and move them around. Gender, males usually require more energy than females because they tend to be a bit bigger and a bit more heavily built. And your lifestyle, the more activity you do, the more energy you will require. So when I was a student at university, I was in classes a lot, in meetings, in my flat with my flatmates, and I just did exercise. I did it every day, but not to the extent I'm doing it now. I'm teaching PE. I obviously join in with lots of lessons with you. I'm walking to collect kit. We walk down to the park. I also go to the gym every day. So now my lifestyle's changed. I actually eat a lot more to give myself more energy. I'm probably eating an extra 500 to 1,000 calories a day compared to what I ate at university. So here's a sort of rough guide of the amount of calories you need. So a male, an adult working in an office, which is probably about a good description of what I was doing at university. It wasn't actually office work, but it was very much being in a building, sitting down. I wasn't really doing a lot on my feet. But then actually now I'm doing lots of heavy physical work, you could say, and my calories have gone up just under 1,000 really. But you can have a pause and read through that and have a look. Well done, guys. You don't need to do that.